And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 32nd All-Star Game. I'm Dick Stockton along with Bill Russell, and we want to tell you that the film clip you saw at the top, you'll be seeing a lot more of the old-time stars narrated by longtime Boston Celtic broadcaster Johnny Most. And what a galaxy of stars we have this afternoon. And, of course, Bill Russell knows all about it. He has been in 12 of these games, and you even coached in one. How did that happen, Will?
Well, first of all, I lost the game. What happened was Red's last year that he coached, he got thrown out of 20, and one of them was the All-Star game.
So you weren't even a coach, you were a player then?
Right, and as the captain of the East squad, I had to take over and coach, and I went out and lost that one, too.
Dirty trick for Red. Okay. Talking about an All-Star game, a lot of greats all in one place. What is it like to be there? What are the feelings an All-Star has?
Well, it's a lot of feelings, you know. For one, the guys like to prove that they can do things other than what they're famous for. So what they'll do, you find a shooter will show the guys that he can pass. He wants the respect of his peers. So that's one of the things they do. Everybody's proud to be picked, and you try to be blasé, but you really can't, especially when the game starts.
All right, well, if you look at the rosters, the West team seems to have the big stars statistically, but the East leads in the series 20-11, and they've won 3 of the last 4. We'll see what happens as we welcome you to the All-Star Game.
Number 6.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
The officials for the game, Jake O'Donnell and Wally Rooney. Jess Kersey is the alternate here. And we'll bring you up to date because you're not looking at their familiar uniforms. You know that fellow in any event, no matter what suit he's wearing, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he's jumping center against Artis Gilmore, and the West controls the tip. Gus Williams with the ball, number 1. He's guarded by Isaiah Thomas. Julius Erving and Adrian Dantley matched up. Gilmore and Kareem, and the baseline shot by Gervin is no good, and actually it drops in for the bucket. So George Gervin gets the first point.
And the shooters bounce. You know, that when the good shooters shoot, they bounce around to go in. When the stone hands shoot, they bounce around and go out of bounds.
They go low now, and helping out is Shelton. Tiny Archibald penetrating. I don't know if Artis was ready for that toss. Rebound, Irving, and the doctor ties it up. And one thing Bill Fitch wants to do is he's going to get one of his 2 playmakers out of there. He's got 2-point guards, and Nate Archibald said, I'll go out, let Isaiah Thomas play, and so Moncrief will be coming in the game first.
Well, 2 guys that have a chance to, for the style of play, that an all-star game would really help them. They play better, I would see. To me, it would be Gus Williams and George Gervin.
There you see Sidney Moncrief, who really is emerging as a terrific star in the league, and that makes 2 on that club with Marcus Johnson and Sidney Moncrief. Nate Archibald committed the foul.
And the reason I say that about those 2 guys is that they do their best play in an open court one-on-one, and very rarely you have to set up plays for it.
Gus Williams is short, but Lonnie Shelton is there, and he hits the bucket. Big story with Lonnie Shelton, which we'll tell you about during the course of the game. How difficult is it with just one practice getting all these great stars to work together in an all-star game? I guess when Larry Bird does that, it doesn't matter.
Well, the hard part is the defense, because they've played against each other so much that they know what they do offensively, so they know how to play with it. But the defense is the hardest thing to coordinate. So what you try to do is play good man-to-man defense and send everybody to the middle so the big guys can do what they do.
Shelton fed Kareem. The ball comes off loose, and here's the dock with Isaiah Thomas and Sidney Moncrief, who lays it up and in. And the quick pass back. Gus Williams, he can hit from outside and a terrific spark plug. Returning to the Seattle lineup this year, to no one's surprise, going from last to a contender. And that's going to be East ball.
Now you notice that on that last play down, Gus held up and passed the ball, and normally in the Seattle offense he would have fired that one, but he's their instant offense. And so what guys do, that when the game starts, especially, they're more reluctant to shoot.
Bird tried to thread the needle. Moncrief got a hand on it, and it's out of bounds, still East ball. So what we're seeing, really, everyone expects 10 guys going to be firing the ball away, and what we're really seeing is everyone trying to be a playmaker.
You know, most guys do that, except for one guy, one of my teammates when I was playing, Tommy Heinsohn.
He come out gunning, right?
He got in his first All-Star game, he went 18 for 21. He got the ball 21 times, he put it up 18.
Well, Larry Bird put that last shot up, and coming right back is Lonnie Shelton. So in the opening minutes, less than 9.5 to play first quarter, and the East leading 8-6 here. 32nd All-Star, rich with tradition, as you will see throughout the course of the evening. Isaiah Thomas with a nice baseline drive, and certainly did not look like a rookie for that play.
Yeah, he doesn't know that you're supposed to be a little nervous about those big guys in there.
Don't forget he's only 20 years old, the youngest player on the court. Feed inside to Gus Williams. He's double teamed. He finds the open man for the moment. Good defense by Dr. J. Gus Williams misses. Batting it away is Irving. West still has it. Kareem looking inside, and two of the West players were there. The ball knocked away. Isaiah gets the pass to Larry Bird, who sweeps it. So Isaiah Thomas on a good feed and a good basket at the other end, and the East is opened up a 12-6 advantage. Bird is now 3 for 3. Top playmaking forward in the league, and just a tremendous spark plug. Julius went up for it, went for the fake, and Adrian Dantley hits from the corner. Bill Fitch, the only man to win Coach of the Year honors twice, leading the East squad. Isaiah shooting from outside. And here comes the break. Gus Williams. Isaiah gets back on the D. Gus goes up with it and draws the foul.
Good defensive play.
3 of the top 5 scoring leaders amongst rookies are in the game. Mark Aguirre and Jay Vincent of Dallas are 1 and 3. And the chicken here to entertain the fans as well. But I would think this kind of game, you don't need a chicken. You got enough athletes out here to do it, Bill.
Yeah, but the chicken likes to lay eggs every place.
Substitutions for the...
Oh, that's a rooster. I'm sorry.
Yeah, get it right. West squad. Magic Johnson, number 32, is in the game. Norm Nixon, number 10. And Bernard King, number 30, comes in the game. So Kareem and Lonnie Shelton are the only two remaining in the lineup for the West, and the East goes with the same group. Moncrief, Irving, Thomas, Gilmore, and Larry Bird. And there's an airball. Now, this has to show the jurors more than anything else, because we see that. Look at Isaiah.
Yes.
They're gonna let him know about it.
I know that in my first All-Star game, I spent the whole game hoping no one would foul me. Oh, please don't hit me.
So if you think everyone's super cool, you got a glimpse of it there. And he's been such a terrific player and a great addition to the league. Inside, Lonnie Shelton. Lonnie Shelton on a feed from Magic Johnson as you look at Commissioner Lawrence O'Brien of the National Basketball Association looking on. 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go, first quarter. Gilmore gets the feed in. They collapse around him, and a whistle. Basket counts and a foul. He was pushed. So Gilmore has a chance for the three-point play. And the foul is on Abdul-Jabbar. First personal foul. 3-point East lead.
Fifth on the team. Gilmore shooting 2.
And he gets the three-point play. Magic Johnson, who is a guard but really can play any position. And Larry Bird really can say the same thing. Bernard King is short. Going up, and Gilmore made a terrific defensive play on Lonnie Shelton. The ball came off of Shelton, so Gilmore with terrific defense inside and moving the ball up in a hurry. Julius found a way to go. Spins come off, and here comes a break. 3-on-2 for the West. Magic Johnson. And interference on top. Not count. They're starting to open it up now. Run a little bit more, Bill.
Well, both teams would like to run because they play their best when they're in an open court. Both teams, because these players are usually from good teams, and the good teams play strong defense and use a lot of fast breaks.
We'll give the Doc the jumper all day because in an open court and inside, he's murder. Feed to Magic Johnson. There you see the teamwork that one of the advantages the West has because of Nixon and Magic working together as they do all season long as Moses Malone comes in for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yes, what Spurs like to do in the All-Star game whenever possible, if they have 2 or 3 guys from the same team, they like to play them together because they can do a 2-man game fairly well because they really know what the other guy does.
So now the substitutes come in en masse as Tiny Archibald, number 7, comes in along with Bob Lanier, Bobby Jones, Michael Ray Richardson, and Buck Williams of the New Jersey Nets. Jack Sikma also in the ball game. So new front line with Malone and Sikma.
The 2 leading rebounders.
Yeah, this is when we talk about the West advantage. 6 of the top 7 scorers in the league are on the West. The top 2 rebounders.
But that really doesn't mean anything, you know, because they've got to be able to mesh the styles. And so this is what the coaches have to do, to find out what's the best combination out there. Reputations don't mean anything. It's because what develops as a style you're going to play that day. And so it has to do with the way you play.
Good defensive play by Michael Ray Richardson, who's regarded as one of the best defensive guards in the NBA, on the lead pass to the basket. And so Magic Johnson will inbound. He got a less than enthusiastic response from the crowd when he was introduced. So they still remember the coaching change the Lakers made, and a lot of people still blame Magic for forcing that change. Nixon penetrating into a sea of white shirts, and Bernard King hits from outside. A homecoming for Bernard King, who began his career with the Nets. And now the West takes the lead 22-20, and it matches their biggest margin with 4:35 remaining in the first quarter. Dick Stockton and Bill Russell here at the 32nd NBA All-Star game. Saved by Buck Williams. Lanier lost it, and is fouled.
Loose ball, 32 blue.
Loose ball foul called against Magic Johnson. Bob Lanier, more than anything else, you know, Bob Lanier wants a title. He has been toiling for the Pistons in the last couple of years for the Milwaukee Bucks. A terrific guy and a man who underwent knee surgery and didn't know whether he could come back this year. And so far he's doing the job, and Milwaukee's got to be a real threat now.
Well, they're a real threat, especially if he's healthy going to the playoffs. He's had injury problems the last few years, so he hadn't had a chance to play a full season. But they only lost to Philadelphia by 1 point in the 7th game last year. And then Philadelphia in turn lost to Boston by 1 point in the 7th game. So they're not that bad a club. And what happened to them this year, with Marcus Johnson being out part of the season, Sidney Moncrief became an All-Star. And so they now have two legitimate first-class All-Star players.
We're going to be seeing the Milwaukee Bucks in action in the month of February against the Boston Celtics. They switch, and now Tiny is on Nixon. Overplayed him, and Norm shot no good, and Michael Ray Richardson wins the rebound. Lead pass intercepted by Bernard King, who's playing a solid game. Comeback player, continuing and doing even better this season. Nixon, Sigma, and Jack Sigma. You won't find many better facing the hoop, will you, than Jack?
Yeah, he squares up and he's tough. He holds that ball over his head so that you can't get to it. If you come up on it, he can take that 1 or 2 dribble and go to the hoop real well.
Buck Williams hitting from outside. Shot he had some trouble with earlier this season. He's been a terrific inside player, and we've had 5 deadlocks, including the present one at 24, with less than 3.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Johnson looking inside for Moses Malone. Lanier on him, and a foul.
Little contact, you think?
He hugged him. He hasn't seen him in a while, and he wanted to welcome him.
When you get Lanier and Moses, that's got to be contact. In fact, that's collision.
4th team foul on the East Stars. Personal, of course, on Lanier. So Magic Johnson, number 32. Bernard King is 30. Moses Malone, 24. Sigma with the ball, 43. Setting something up. And a one-handed baseline. Not really in good balance was Magic, and Lanier almost jumped down Moses' throat from the top.
Moses is strong, but not quite that strong. Here's the play here. Moses got it. He's going to start to go up, and Lanier says you'll have to make the 2 free throws. You won't make the dunk shot. Not this time.
Malone misses the free throw. So you're looking at Moses Malone, who led the Houston Rockets, surprise team last year, into the NBA Finals before they lost to the Celtics in 6 games. Struggling this season is Houston as Tiny Archibald brings it up. Nixon on him. They look to Lanier. Lanier down low, puts the fake on Moses, and good play by Bob Lanier. And the East takes the lead again by 2. Inside, Bernard King. He has played a fine first quarter in every phase of the game, and another deadlock with 2:40 to go in the first quarter. Seen pretty good defense here in a game you'd expect just an offensive show. Steal by Bernard King. He's got Magic behind him as the trailer. He sees Bobby Jones. Clever passing. Nixon hits the jump.
That's his favorite shot. On a fast break, just pull up at the foul line, and he makes that shot.
He's the one player that Pat Riley does not run plays for, Norm Nixon. He creates things on his own. That was a forced shot by Buck Williams over Sigma. And here comes a break. The East is back, but laying it up. The basket good and a foul. Magic Johnson. Buck Williams. What a drive by Magic.
Yeah, he handles that ball real well, especially for a guy that's 6'9". 3 or 4 different fakes.
So we have a timeout. The West leads the East 30-26 late in the first period.
Art McGuire, the set shot. It is no good. Rebound Pettit underneath the Baylor. Baylor lays it up and in. At the other end, the battle for the rebounds won by Pettit. The quick out pass goes to Martin. Down court it goes to Shue. Underneath the Baylor. Lays it up. It is tipped in by Pettit.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
And a pretty solid basketball player in his own right. He was a star at Minnesota, Dave Winfield of the New York Yankees. Watching the activities here at the All-Star Game, Magic Johnson has 6 points and he's on the line, and he could become the first player since John Havlicek back in '72 to pick up 600 assists and 600 rebounds in the same season.
That's pretty good company.
Yeah. He's here. 5-point lead for the West. 2 minutes remaining now in the first quarter. Tiny Archibald. What a play by Tiny, who played his high school basketball in New York and the MVP last year in this game.
And when he was young, he was the only player, I think, to lead his league in scoring and assists.
That's correct. Moses, Malone, turn around with Lanier. Lanier pushed him out to where he wanted him to take the shot. And Michael Ray Richardson. Buck Williams. Watched by Sigma, feed to Bobby Jones, falls off. Malone looking for the outlet pass. Lanier would let him have it, and Bobby Jones puts it in.
He only nudged him a little bit.
One-point lead for the West with 1:12 remaining first quarter. Bernard King goes baseline Sigma. Buck Williams can't keep him out, and Sigma goes up with a shot. Moses Malone controlling inside, knocked away by Lanier, and it is still
Bob Lanier
West
is a good example of a player that really knows where he is on the court and what he can do.
That's one thing you always did, is not how many block shots, when you blocked it, and he timed that perfectly.
Well, if you block him in a way, in the way he did, the next time a guy gets a shot, he helps you because he's concerned. And that helps you play defense when you can get... See, sometimes it's not necessarily to block a shot. It's to make a guy think enough about what he's doing to throw his timing off or take steps for 3 seconds.
Michael Ray Richardson at one end, and Moses Malone at the other end inside.
Didn't bother him that time, though. He just, watch this.
Bernard King picks up Michael Ray Richardson. Lanier outside. He's got a pretty good shot from out there. He banks that one in. He can't give him room. Bob Lanier brings the East to within a point with 20 seconds to play in the quarter.
He takes room sometimes.
Dick Johnson with 9 points in the game, leading scorer in the ball game. Final seconds, 10. Not having control is Michael Ray Richardson, and the ball thrown and caught up with. Malone gets an easy 2 with the final seconds being ticked off here. And
another assist by Magic Johnson.
And the horn was late. The clock had run down 3 seconds before we heard the horn. And so Magic Johnson winds up with 9 points and 4 assists in the first period of the 32nd All-Star Game with the West in front of the East, 39-34.
Shot no good. The battle of the rebounds won by Shea. The quick out now to Kuz. He comes to the middle of the court and shovel passes to Chamberlain, who stops it.
We start the second quarter here at the All-Star Game. Dick Stockton and Bill Russell, who played in 12 of them. Tiny Archibald brings it up, and Sidney Moncrief joins him in the backcourt. Number 4, Julius Erving, Robert Parrish in his first action. 0-0, watched by Sigma. Parrish has it now, trying to get some room. Goes inside baseline. Sigma, fine defensive job in there by Jack, although it is still East ball. And Buck Williams is in the lineup. Jack Sigma, who has never missed a game. Just a solid, workmanlike performer.
Have you ever seen the way he's built?
That's why he's never missed a game, right?
When it comes to bruises, he's a carrier. He doesn't get them.
Yeah, he gives them out. Buck Williams is on him now, giving up some muscle, I would think. It goes Sigma again, and we have a foul. And Buck Williams Gets him from behind, his second foul. If you add up the individual scoring averages of each player in the game, Bill, the West is scoring at 280 points per game, and the East 219. So if you go by scoring, the West has the big edge. Alex English.
Well, they do that with 6 basketballs.
Alex English fouls Julius Erving. And of course, as you know, no more backcourt fouls.
And he's not nervous much.
Well, it's his first All-Star game, and Alex English has really been a spark as the doc tests out the ankle. And of course, Bill Fitch is not going to say you got to hang in there if he doesn't feel it.
One of the first things that players do in the All-Star game, I think the first thought when the game starts is not to embarrass yourself, as I said earlier. And if you come off the bench, especially, you know, like a kid like Alex English, his first All-Star game, he comes in, and there he is in open court with Julius Erving. And after you get in the game a little while, though, it becomes, now I won't embarrass myself. Now I can see what I can do. But as the game goes, it's sort of a build-up. The more minutes pass, the more important it becomes to win.
Well, they're shooting pretty well, as you can see right there. So Julius Erving remains in the ball game, and Dennis Johnson, wearing number 25 from the Phoenix Suns, and one of the premier defensive guards in the league, and really a good two-way player at that.
And these guys' hands full today, I can tell you that, trying to guard Sidney Moncrief.
Moncrief knocked away by Sigma. Sigma playing fine defense. The West has done it so far on the D, no question about it. Bernard King and Sigma, and there's one right there. Gus Williams knocked it away. Sigma back to Gus Williams and lays it up. Defense has been the key to a game, and you'd think there'd be 10 basketballs, and that's been the...
Well, you got some good defensive players. Gus is a good defensive player. He roams a lot, which, unless the coach sets up his defense to take care of that, would be bad defense. But the way they set up to play that defense,
Gus gambled there.
It's pretty good defense. And so that he's very effective, and he gets a lot of his points on the fast break as a result of steals.
Moses Malone coming up court. Robert Parrish commits the foul, his first foul. Pat Riley, who didn't dream he'd be coaching in this game when the season started, as Kareem comes back in the game for the West. He was an assistant to Paul Westhead, and since he's taken over the Lakers, Pat Riley's guided his team to 24-8.
Bill Fitch, you know what's the interesting thing about coaching the Lakers? For a team that's had such great records for the last few years, they've had 3 coaches.
Good point. Erving loses it out of bounds. It's still West ball. What does that tell you?
Well, you usually think of changing coaching jobs when you're losing. But the Lakers have been winning over 50 games a year and had 3 coaches in 3 years.
41-34, the West with the biggest lead so far. Nearly 2 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Alex English, short, and the rebound, Buck Williams.
He does that very well, rebounding.
Moncrief inside. He's only 6'4", but watch him battle for the loose ball, and we will have a loose ball foul on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and that will be the second personal on Kareem. So there you saw the quickness inside of Sidney Moncrief.
Well, guarding him for 5 minutes is a full day's work because he shoots well outside and inside.
Jerry West brings it up. They start a weave outside to Robertson. Now to Baylor. Baylor coming back toward the right. Back to West. To Robertson, who drives to the right. Hooks the pass back outside. Now to Pettit in the lane. The shot is good.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
And what a matchup we have next Sunday. The best 2 teams in the league record-wise, the Los Angeles Lakers against the Boston Celtics from Boston Garden. They'll see the rematch a week later at the Forum in L.A., Phoenix in Philadelphia, and then Milwaukee. We've been talking about them and the Celtics in a big February coming up of NBA action. Julius Erving with an acrobatic move doesn't make it in the rebound. Alex English, they get it out to Gus Williams. He has Dennis Johnson with him. Johnson in the corner, feed inside, quick play. That was a quick release inside by Alex English. Welcome to the club, Alex, from Denver. Lonnie Shelton, number 8, back in the game for the West. Robert Parrish hits outside, and he'll burn you there. So the West had their biggest lead, 43-34 at 9. Now it's back to 7 with 9.5 to play in the first half.
And Kareem will find out if you can, or at least teach you to shoot outside if you don't know how.
Parrish on Kareem. They're going to be going at each other next Sunday and the Sunday after on CBS in our home-and-home battles between the Lakers and the Celtics. So they're going to see a lot of each other. A wild shot Parrish did the job on him, and now Tiny gets out of the way of Irving or vice versa. Look at that pass from Tiny to Moncrief. Committed.
And he was going to pass it off.
President of CBS Sports, Neil Pilson, in the audience. And he was a basketball performer, I believe, at Hamilton College. He also played hockey, all-around athlete. And his wife, Frida, and their lovely children all in attendance this afternoon. Neil Pilson.
You get to talk to him, Dick?
Yes, once a month.
You talk like you know him.
Irving gets the shot inside. This meant him to win. 8:45 remaining. 43-38, the West in front. Gus Williams, leading scorer in the game. Magic Johnson for the West with 9. Kareem, fake sky hook, off, no good. Parrish the rebound, gives it to Tiny. That's what he does when the Celtics play. So 2 of the 3 Celtics are in the game right now, and Tiny with a fine pass inside and traveling called against Sidney Moncrief. He was hemmed in pretty well by the West.
Very well, with some tall people, too. Very tall people. And they kind of blur your vision when they're standing around under there.
It's amazing. Moncrief, 6'4", the leading rebounder on his ball club. Gus Williams goes in, and someone got a hand in, and Tiny says it was me. So the foul on Archibald. And Larry Bird's going to check back in the ball game.
And Kelly Tripulka.
Yeah, you know, Kelly Tripulka, of course, there's Larry. Tripulka got a chance to play when Dan Roundfield got hurt, and of course he is from New Jersey, and it's a dream come true to him play as a rookie in the All-Star game.
You know, his coach was telling him not to worry about it and just keep playing hard and anything might happen. And it did.
Exactly. Scotty Robinson told him that when we were in Los Angeles last Friday. You never know, and so here he is. Gus Williams with the second free throw. So 8 points for Gus Williams, second top scorer. And the West leads by 7, so they have a lot of the number people on their team, the stat leaders in scoring and rebounds, and they're making it count right now. Larry Bird working against Shelton. There's a collision of some bodies, and Lonnie Shelton commits the foul.
He says, I didn't hit him hard. Just nudged him.
The thing about Larry Bird, with all of the great things he does as Bird goes to the line, and we saw it last year in the Philadelphia-Boston series, is that when you get down to the nitty-gritty of the ball game, he wants the ball. Havlicek was like that. A lot of your teammates were in those days, and well, either want the ball or not.
See, with the Celtics, you have to want the ball, because if you don't, somebody else will. You know, there's a lot of teams that, but that's a mark of a good team when guys want the ball, because then that means they want to go out and make things happen.
That's what Bird did last year against Philadelphia, and the Celts came from 3-1 deficit to win in the Eastern Finals. Working against Parrish, Kareem lost the ball. Bird knocks it away. Shelton, English. He's got Irving with him. Good defensive play by Julius Irving. They try to get the outlet pass, and they do to the dock, and there he goes. The doctor doing what he does best. West by 5. And Bird knocks into Kareem and commits the foul.
Now here's that pass to the doctor, long, and then you know you're in trouble when he gets like this.
Gus Williams had a good view of it.
Yes, he could read the size of his sneaker.
Less than 7.5 to go. First half, Kareem left uncovered baseline. The Doc comes down with it. The East down by 5. This is an Eastern cloud. Tiny recovers, shuffles it off to Parrish.
Super pass, because Kareem made him look for somebody. He started to go inside, and
timeout called by the West All-Stars. And the voice you've been hearing on our past All-Stars is that of Johnny Most, the longtime Boston Celtic broadcaster, and we're hoping you've enjoyed them.
Robinson moves to the right. On a pick and roll to Pettit. His pass is blocked. Picked up by Pettit. The shot is missed. Baylor the rebound missed. Pettit the rebound is gone.
The 3 rookie most valuable players in All-Star history, and you know them all.
You know, neither of those 3 guys were ever rookies. That was just their first year, because they came in playing like they'd been playing the game 100 years.
Look at this. So if you have the rookie so far, according to the history of the All-Star annals, it pays off, and the East has all 3 of the rookies in this game. Gus Williams tried to get it to Shelton, but it's kept by English. Knocked away.
Enthusiasm is what you give the rookies. They don't know what you can do. That's Dan Roundfield.
Second year in a row he couldn't play because of injury, and boy, you won't find a better power forward in the league. Dan Roundfield of Atlanta Hawks.
Well, one of the sacrifices that he makes for the Atlanta Hawks is his body. He goes in there and he plays hurt almost all the time.
Tiny Archibald is short, goes out of bounds, and so the West is 2 for 11 in the quarter shooting. They were 61% in the first quarter, and Kareem has yet to hit. He's 0 for 5. Alex English of South Carolina and the Denver Nuggets giving up his dribble now, and he's got his hands full with Julius, who almost makes the steal out of bounds.
But Julius has played this year, is probably playing the best defense he's played in his career.
George Gervin, the Iceman, number 44, comes back in the ball game, along with Adrian Dantley.
I guess they got a little firepower in there.
Top 2 scorers in the league, I would think.
And Gus.
And Gus. Kareem outside. Larry Bird trying to knock the ball away. Parrish comes out to meet Kareem, who's now 0 for 6. And Bird to Archibald to Julius.
That is quite a shot.
Williams finds an opening, and it's rammed out of bounds by Parrish.
You know, I always wonder, sometimes I see him take those kind of shots, and I'm trying, I try to get in his mind and see how he figures out that's the way he's going to shoot it. Because that takes creativity. That's unbelievable.
Kareem, sky hooks it, doesn't drop for him, so he is having trouble getting on the board. Tiny shuffles it to Parrish, goes in. Tiny, Parrish, foul. Kareem looks at Wally Rooney, says, is it me? So Parrish, persistence pays off. And Kareem commits his 3rd personal foul. The East has outscored the West 10-2 since the West had a 9-point lead. And right now, it's 45-44, 1-point West lead with 5:44 to go. So Moses Malone will give Kareem Abdul-Jabbar a rest. Kareem 0 for 7 from the field as Malone comes in the game.
He may give Kareem a rest, but he will not give Robert Parrish a rest.
Talking about one of the most relentless rebounders maybe the game has ever seen, Moses Malone, as Robert Parrish, who was considered really a one-way player, mostly offense when he was with Golden State, but he came over to Boston, one of the fine jobs Bill Fitch and his staff. One of the best shot blockers on defense, Robert Parrish. So with 5:35 remaining in the first half, the East with a 1-point lead. Their biggest lead was 6 early in the game. George Gervin way off the mark. Gus Williams saves. Malone was freed, and Gus found him. Bird, fall away, short. Thomas, Isaiah Thomas with a follow-up. So Thomas and Trapuka are both in the lineup, the 2 rookies from the Pistons, along with Julius Erving, Larry Bird, and Robert Parrish. Williams hit.
Gus will let him know that I'm out here just in case you forgot.
And he's the leading scorer now with 10 points. Top scorer with 8 for the East is Erving. Well, Williams is watching Parrish inside. Parrish over Malone. Good play.
Yes. You see, on those plays in there, you got to be careful when you put it on the floor. So a lot of times guys put it on the floor and they get it taken away. If you time it properly, you can put it on the floor. But you have to look at those guys and make sure that you take advantage of where they are. Then you can put it on the floor and get inside where you want to be.
West calls the timeout in a seesaw game. 4:44 remaining in the second period.
Quick out pass to Greer. He has Russell on the break. Lead pass to Russell. He lays it up and in. The ball is set up on the left side and comes up top to Russell. Russell fakes right and goes to the left. Swings toward the lane. Swings back in on Chamberlain. The hook is good.
I thought you never cared about scoring. Your game was rebounding and defense. Now I see you score. What's going on here?
Well, that was desperate. We needed that one.
That's not because Wilt was out there, right?
Well, you see what you did, as I said earlier, you try to do things that you don't ordinarily do. So you show the guys that you can do.
Boy, what form?
Well, I just left the ballet the night before, and that was a new move I wanted to try.
I think we have another highlight of you in this thing that I want to see. But I want the fans to see too. 4:40 to go in the half. Bird tries to knock the ball away, and he does successfully off of Dantley. So the East has the ball, leading by a point with 4:35 to play in the half.
You know, watching Bird play this year, one thing I've noticed, this year in particular, he's far more aggressive than he was always aggressive, but even more so now than he ever was.
What a pass.
Super pass.
Playmaking forward in the game. Parrish has hit 10 points in this quarter, and Julius has hit his last 3, so the East has come back, and here's Bird to the outlet past Isaiah Thomas. Magic behind him, and Isaiah will get the bucket. So Isaiah Thomas has 9 points in this first half, and playing not at all like a 20-year-old who did not complete his college years at Indiana. Rebound by Doc. Gets it out to Tripucka. Isaiah Thomas has Parrish, and Tripucka filling the lane beautifully.
Super pass.
Pat Riley and Bill Burtka on the West bench, and all of a sudden the East has opened up a 7-point lead with 3:40 to go, and that's the biggest lead of the game for the Eastern Stars. They've won 3 of the last 4 and have a 9-game bulge in the history of the game. Good defense by Tripucka. He releases on the break. Thomas 3-on-1. Parrish 12 points in the quarter for Robert Parrish, who is the game's high scorer now. And Larry Bird is playing this game like it's a playoff contest, isn't he? Run all over the court.
Well, you have to. You know, you get rolling here, and if you can give your team the momentum, you can win the game. And you got to have at least 2 or 3 guys playing all out in order to do that.
Former teammate of Bill's, Casey Jones, assistant coach, along with Jimmy Rogers of the East squad. We want to remind you that next Saturday you'll see Speed and Grace on Ice on a CBS Sports Special. We'll have same-day coverage of the 1982 European Figure Skating Championships from Lyon, France. And from the Netherlands, it's the World Sprint Speed Skating Championship. Don't miss it, as some of the world's finest athletes compete for European and world titles next Saturday at 3, 2 Central and Pacific on a CBS Sports Special. Artis Gilmore back in the ballgame, replacing Parrish, who did a whale of a job with 12 points. Gus Williams, number 1. Gervin trying to set the screen, 44. Moses Malone inside, along with Magic Johnson. Bird the rebound. Bird is not really a forward. He plays guard, center, power forward like Magic does. There he is on the drive. Tripucka. And the West controls. Look at that, Isaiah Thomas. Gus Williams got the bucket, but Isaiah was with him and did his best.
That was an interesting play because that was just burning speed with both those guys and good timing on both those guys. Gus came out of the head on that one. This Isaiah's going to be quite a pro player.
He makes everyone look good on his team. They won only 21 last year. Dantley in the other end. So now the pace picks up dramatically with 2.5 to play and a 5-point lead for the East.
Yeah, they're opening it up.
Norm Nixon will be coming in the ball game as Isaiah Thomas with a superb drive. He's used to this all-star game.
Yeah, he's saying, what's the record in this place?
Yeah. You know, he could join the list with 3 rookie MVPs. Gervin goes in. What a play by the Iceman, George Gervin. San Antonio, first place in the Midwest Division. Larry Bird driving against Moses. Behind the Tripucka.
Super pass and super play. He went in and drew 2 guys with him, and they left an open space right behind him. And a good fundamental player like Tripucka went right down that lane.
It's amazing, Bill, that this team had 1 workout together. I mean, they look like they've been working out for weeks. Some of the plays that they're executing out here. Baseline, Moses Malone looks for room and is fouled.
The reason that works.
See that pass again.
Here's that pass. He goes in, takes the defense with him, and that's an open space. He goes right down the lane there. Super play. And the reason they look so good together is that if you do fundamental things, that when the opening is there, you move without the ball will be there. Good players will do that.
Julius Erving returns to the game as Moses Malone goes to the line. Malone in his 6th year in the league. Leading rebounder, 3rd in scoring. Last year, he was the leading rebounder and 2nd scoring in the NBA. So Norm Nixon in the backcourt with Magic Johnson from the Lakers. Moses Malone up front, and Dantley and Gervin. So Magic really is playing a forward position on offense. Guard on defense. Going baseline, double teaming the Doc. Tripucka in a crowd. Bird with 5 seconds on the shot clock. Into Artis Gilmore. Offensive foul called against Gilmore. 1:18 to play in the half. 6-point East lead, and Gilmore's called for the foul. Both teams over the limit in the penalty. So the Laker duo brings it up.
They're slowing it down a little bit because with the personnel they have out there, the East has an advantage on the running at this point.
Feed into Dantley, and there's Magic with the feed. So Gervin is actually playing forward on offense.
Yes. Well, he plays everywhere. Isaiah got pushed a little bit. twice.
In the back.
And he kept his concentration. If they hadn't physically moved him out of the way, he still might have made that shot.
There's Bill Fitch, 12 years head coach, 9 with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Last 2 years, he has won a total 123 games in the world title. There's 2 air balls thrown up by Thomas on the free throw line.
And he's embarrassed, too.
But I'll tell you what, it's not as bad now because he has really played an outstanding game. It's not like it's the first
here he is.
Seconds of the game.
You know, he's sitting there all by himself now. There, that's better.
All right, 1 for 2.
I'll tell you, that's the longest feeling in the world, standing that foul line by yourself.
You ever do that?
I stood there a lot of times and wish that I could draw a crowd.
Danley finds the open man. Nixon bobbing over Larry Bird. And Magic gets the rebound to keep it for the West with 43 seconds to play in the half. Good fake by Nixon. Magic inside. Now they're cooking, but a loose ball.
And Danley can come out there with balls you couldn't believe.
So can Malone. And Malone gets the bucket and fouled in the act as well. So a couple of good garbage people, and that's not a negative term because they take advantage of a lot of errant shots in there and convert them for baskets. Dantley does it, and so does this guy.
Yeah, the people that call it garbage don't go in there where it is.
That's right. Malone now has a game high of 6 rebounds, leading the league, and he has a 3-point play. So Moses has 10 points. Gus Williams with 12 leads the West. Parrish and Thomas have 12 for the East with 23 seconds to go, 15 on the shot clock, and a 2-point East lead. Biggest lead for the East, 9 points. Missing a
pass,
layup.
just got it blocked, but that was a good pass.
5 against 4 now. Magic, open man, Norm Nixon. Magic. Offensive foul. It got fancy in there, but the offensive foul called against Irvin Johnson.
4 seconds. Long pass.
I don't think he agrees with that call.
No. 4 seconds remaining in the first half. The East leading 63-61. Bird will fire it now, and Moses Malone will grab it away. And that's the longest 4 seconds I've seen.
So well, not supposed to count the clock's not supposed to start until it touches somebody, I think.
I think it touched a few.
Just a couple.
30-second All-Star game at the half with Gus Williams with 12, Moses Malone 10, Magic Johnson 9. For the East Stars, Robert Parrish and Isaiah Thomas have 12 and Julius Erving 8. Each team has had the biggest lead of 9 coming up at half. Brent Musburger at the CBS Sports Control with news and highlights, a rebound feature with Dave Bing, and NCAA basketball reports. So at halftime, the East leads the West 63-61.
Robertson outside now to Sam Jones. Sam moving around to the right, takes the jump shot. It is no good. Bill on the rebound, knocked loose by Robertson, picked up by Embry, over to Robertson, he lays it in.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
East leads the West 63-61. We want to remind you that near the end of today's game, the print and electronic media will be selecting the Miller High Life Most Valuable Player of the Game. In conjunction with this award, Miller High Life will present a check for $2,000 to the Special Olympics organization in the name of the player selected. Today's winner will be announced at the end of the telecast. Bill, your observations in the first half of a pretty good ball game.
Yeah, they came out, they got to it pretty quick. They felt, go out, you feel your way around and make sure you're into it. But the East, for one while, dominated the game, but the West came back. So this is going to be an interesting second half.
The East has been real good when they've had those passing forwards like Larry Bird in there. And Parrish, of course, had a good half. We'll check on the scoring for you in a minute. Earl, the Pearl Monroe.
Well, what the coaches were able to find out the first half, which combination will work for them, what kind of team they want out there. And so they probably may have had their assistants take names down so that when they get ready for the key juncture of the game, which hasn't arrived yet, they'll have the guys they want out there.
Does this mean we'll see a different kind of game in the second half?
Going down in the last quarter, you will.
Michael Ray Richardson starting this third quarter, misses the shot. It's tipped up and in by Julius Erving. So the West with the ball now. Norm Nixon,
And he did that left-handed.
number 10. Dennis Johnson, 25 at guard. Bernard King with the ball, number 30. Jack Sikma 43, Lonnie Shelton 8. Sikma playing center right now, facing the hoop and missing the shot. Bird the rebound. Quickly looks down court. He always does that first. Isaiah Thomas, the point guard, number 11. Michael Ray Richardson with him at guard. Lanier 16 has the ball as the center, and the Doc is in there too. Lanier doing a number on Sikma. Hook shot misses. Outlet pass Sikma, and is stolen by Isaiah Thomas. Good play, 2-on-1. Irving, Thomas, Lanier. They did everything but score, Bill.
Everything. Good defense. He just hung right with it.
Nixon down the other end makes it look
Super
easy.
shot.
Bill Sharman, general manager of the Lakers, marveling at Norm Nixon's shot.
And glad he didn't have to negotiate a contract on the basis of that.
He may have to.
Isaiah Thomas hurt his ankle, I think, on that last play down.
We have a 20-second injury timeout. Isaiah Thomas, as you mentioned, shaken up. Fritz Maskin is the trainer from the New Jersey Nets for the East team.
But when you're that age, it only hurts for a few minutes. The older you get, the longer it hurts.
Thomas will go out, and Tiny Archibald will. The fans who voted the All-Stars, you saw that the most ever for a rookie was Isaiah Thomas, and they voted Archibald and Thomas, 2 point guards to start the game. And in just a short period of time, Bill Fitch sent in Sidney Moncrief for Tiny, who, you know, in gentlemanly fashion, allowed Isaiah to see the action early. Shooting over Shelton is Larry Bird, and Dennis Johnson from the Phoenix Suns the rebound. Keep you up to date on some of the teams again now. Bernard King of Golden State misses, and the rebound Sikma of Seattle banks it in.
See, that ball is kept alive, and by the first miss, and that's what you have to do sometimes. You can't get the rebound. You just hit it against the board and keep it alive.
Nearly 2 minutes gone. Third period. Doc knew that was off the mark, and here's Bernard King. 3-on-1. Norm Nixon of the Lakers with his second drive and second basket here in the third quarter. And just under 9 minutes to go, Bill Fitch said, "I've seen enough." And he calls a timeout with the West regaining the lead by 2, 67-65. Another look back.
All right, Rogers brings the ball up top. And the ball stolen away by Greer. Starts a break. It goes to Adrian Smith. Chases it into the corner. Holds the ball. Still got it. Back out now to Chet Walker at the top of the key on the left to Willis Reed. The jump shot. Swish.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar this year surpassed John Havlicek and the Big O to move into second place behind Wilt Chamberlain. But in this All-Star game, he's had his problems. He's 0 for 7, but he likes to wear those goggles, and the Laker trainer is not here. It's the Utah trainer, and he didn't have him with him. So he doesn't have all the equipment, and so Kareem's struggling. Meanwhile, Michael Ray Richardson creates the 8th tie of this game at 67 with 9:35 to go. Here's Isaiah Thomas, Larry Bird on his right. Back to Isaiah. 2 good passers, and we will have a whistle and a foul.
And it might have gone in if he hadn't, on the follow-up, hadn't hit it. It might have gone in because it's bouncing around. Because what he can do real well is go to the basket real hard and put a soft touch on the shot.
Averaging 24 a game. He has 6 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists in this game. From French Lick, Indiana, in his 3rd year, 3 years an All-Star. 6th in scoring in the league, 5th in rebounds, 7th best free throw shooter, even though he missed that first one. But 0 for 3 at the line today. That's his first.
He turned around for you just in case you were starting to get a little bothered about him. I guess I better make this shot picked up.
Norm Nixon, 6 points in this quarter, and Nixon now with 10.
Now, the big wide receiver there kind of pushed off offensive interference. That's Maurice Lucas from the Knicks now.
1 point West lead. Nixon and Thomas going at it. Fall away. Norm going with the hot hand. Bird tipped it to himself. Comes down 3-on-2, and Nixon fine defensive play. Got the ball over.
I don't think the news will catch it.
Norm Nixon.
They had another 100 yards. Thomas quickly back. Lost it. Doc in the corner. Hard pass to Lanier. Almost converted it. But it's still the East ball. Trailing by 3. Biggest lead for either club, 9 points. Julius Erving. What a move on Nixon. He went around Nixon as if he were not there.
Well, I won't say anything about that. I don't think I know what he did.
That may be the most honest comment we've heard in a long time from anybody in any game. Isaiah brings it up a 1-point West lead.
Now we'll see if we can figure this out.
You ready? Bernard, 30.
Well, that's what he did.
Now you see. We have to slow it up some more. That's the grace of what this game is all about. 8:15 remaining third quarter. 71-70 the West lead. Bird with a dribble drive. Knocked away by Dennis Johnson. Watch Michael Ray Richardson get back in the defensive flow and stop the break for the Western Stars. King knocks it away, picked up by Michael Ray Richardson. He's looked good on 2 plays. Irving went up without the ball. Thomas is back on the D, and so is Lanier.
He had 11 on that one.
And Bernard King with a reverse layup is fouled by Larry Bird. And now we have our picture and sound back. Well, I guess we always had the sound. And Lanier with a hook shot. A lot of lead passes here in this quarter. Look at that interception by Bird, by Dennis Johnson.
3 good defensive plays in a row. It's hard to keep up with him. A steal and a steal and a steal.
Moncrief in the backcourt with Michael Ray Richardson, who has the ball.
That's a tall backcourt, I want to tell you.
Julius in a crowd. Dennis Johnson, he's made 3 or 4 fine defensive plays and got this pass to Norm Nixon. And it's Alex English who converts.
Alex English.
West by 3. We have had 8 ties in this game. Don't forget, we'll have the most valuable player award later on in the ball game. Oscar Robertson has won it 3 times, and a foul against Lanier. Sikra might have been pushing off.
And Bob Lanier won the MVP when they played the game in Seattle, I believe.
Right. Artis Gilmore comes into the ball game for the East Stars, along with Buck Williams of the New Jersey Nets, as Lanier and Larry Bird go out. Bird has 7 points in the game and 3 fouls, and Bob Lanier has 8 points and 3 personal fouls. We have a timeout.
Baylor putting the ball to play to Walt Hazard, who brings it up on the left side. Down the left side about halfway, coming off a pick to the right. Goes to Wilkins. Knocked loose by Sam Jones, picked up by Hal Greer. He's out front. He drives and lays it in.
Right after the All-Star game, more great basketball when CBS Sports brings you 2 big regional games. You'll see either the Jaguars of South Alabama taking on the West Virginia Mountaineers or the Cincinnati Bearcats against Virginia Tech. Either way, it's going to be a great afternoon of basketball, so stay courtside with CBS Sports. The East has shot 4 for 14, 79% this period. They upped that margin a little bit. West by 1. Sigma. King comes around, the small forward. Gilmore puts it up on the switch. And Buck Williams lost it to Gervin, who got the bucket.
And he knows what to do with it when he gets it around the hoop, I can tell you. Well, he knows what to do with it anywhere.
10th year, George Gervin, averaging 32.5 points per game, and Gervin has 6 in this game. In this contest as Moncrief sneaks through for a layup, as Buck Williams, or Michael Ray comes out of it.
Another good defensive play.
Julius. Julius.
Buck Williams. Artis Gilmore.
Okay, if you don't succeed.
Try again.
Gus Williams has 12, Nixon 12 for the West. Thomas and Parrish have 12, but the Doc has 14 to lead all scorers with 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the third period. Gervin goes up and try to keep it alive. Gilmore tips it, and Dennis Johnson comes up with it in his foul. So Gilmore tried to tap it away, and Dennis Johnson came up with the ball. As we want to show you right now, the Honeywell computer being used to tabulate the votes for today's All-Star MVP. And we'll get the results in a hurry, and we'll be talking to the most valuable player after the ball game.
It's the first time I've ever seen a computer play.
Play the game?
Oh, there's an action there, wasn't it?
Dennis Johnson with 1 to go. Team fouls. West has 4. The East has 1 here in the third quarter. Last year, Tiny Archibald was the most valuable player in the ball game. He had 9 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds, and 3 steals. Julius inside is fouled behind by, looked like English, but Gilmore raised his hand.
But it doesn't go very well to his left.
English second foul, and Dr. J going to the line. Upwards of 20,000 here at the Byrne Meadowlands Arena. Dennis Johnson from Phoenix. Well, had that collision underneath just a second ago. Buck Williams, the rookie from Maryland. And Alex English muscling for position. Only Kareem has not scored a point in this ball game, oddly enough. Chicken hasn't scored either. English misses. Malone lost it out of bounds, East ball.
Well, we're going to leave the chicken out of this.
Michael Ray Richardson, short on it. English tries to get it away, and Michael Ray took away the outlet pass. Just picked his pocket. Magic Johnson trying to steal, and Richardson burned him. So Michael Ray from the New York Knicks, 6 points. Knicks have been having their problems. They suspended Sly Williams indefinitely.
Who?
Sly Williams indefinitely. You know Sly. Gervin misses the baseline, and Magic Johnson inside. 6'9", Magic Johnson. You see many of the great players play more than one position. Some play 4 or 5. Bird included. Michael Ray is hot.
4 or 5
position. Less than 3.5 to go. Third period. The East leading 83-80. This game swung back and forth as Magic is fouled going in. Last year, the East beat the West 123-120. Paul Westphal was the leading scorer in the game with 19, and he's a man without a team right now. And the high scorer with Julius Erving with 18. But here's Magic. Didn't play last year because he had that injured knee and missed 45 games. Magic now with 12 points, 7 assists, and 4 rebounds.
No, he's an odd thing about Magic is that he's not what you call a pure shooter, but he's a good free throw shooter. You know, from outside, he's not supposed to be a very good shooter from outside, but he's a good free throw shooter. Much better than you would think from the way he shoots from the outside.
How does that come about?
I say it was a lot.
3:10 to go. Gilmore misses, and Gervin comes down with it. When you say it was a lot, I mean, I have no idea why. Williams fires it into the press section. Turns it over to the East. Larry Bird, Kelly Tripucka, and Bob Lanier. Tiny Archibald. Great players watching other great players in action with 3 minutes to play in the third period, and the East leading by 183-82. Biggest lead for the East, 9 points at 58-49. The West also a 9-point lead at 43-34. Michael Ray Richardson has the hot hand. He has 10 points, 8 coming in this third period, and it opens up again a 3-point lead. He's hit 3 straight. Gervin looking inside, and Gilmore and Moses Malone stage a little one-on-one of their own.
Gilmore was pushing, and I do mean pushing, like a D8 and a D7 Caterpillar. And so just as Moses got ready to react to it, he backed away, and Moses almost fell down.
They're both strong.
Lonnie Wilkins down the right sideline. In the corner, it goes to Rudy LaRusso, out to Elvin Hayes. All right, the drop-off pass to Don Coaches. The shot blocked by Gus Johnson. He picks it up, goes in the middle of Dave Bing. Back to Johnson. He drives and lays it in.
Cheerleaders, courtesy of the Indiana Pacettes, and the Pacers are off to a start that puts them in the thick of the playoff fight. 2:35 remaining in the third period, a 3-point East lead, and Magic Johnson gets a couple. The West led by 5 at the quarter, and the East led by 2.5. It's been an even game throughout.
Moncrief went for the steal, and Magic made him pay for that.
Gilmore coming around now is Michael Ray Richardson, and Artis' shot goes off. Buck Williams is there. Can he hold on? No, and it's picked off by Gervin. Gervin brings it up. He's got Magic Johnson. Kareem's going to come back in the ball game. No goggles at all as Gervin hits the jumper. So that's the Iceman's patented shot. 2 minutes remaining in the third period, and the West leading by 1, 86-85. Michael Ray Richardson throws up a wild shot, and Bobby Jones draws the foul. And here's Kareem, who has not scored in the game, and the only player who has not scored in the game. But other than that, he scored something like 27,000 points in his career.
Well, he's been doing something, huh?
Foul on Magic Johnson is third.
Alex English goes out.
Bobby Jones shooting 2.
So Moses and Kareem are in the lineup at the same time.
That's what you call a large front line. Well, tall anyway.
Tall, yes. And Magic at 6'9", and Gervin up there too, and Gus Williams. Bobby Jones. So we have the 10th tie of our ball game at 86. Gus Williams from the Seattle Sonics, sat out last year, picked it up this year without skipping a beat. Seattle's going from last place to challenging Los Angeles in the Pacific Division. Look at the spin by the Iceman. Malone is there. Can't convert it, and coming out now is Sidney Moncrief of the Milwaukee Bucks. Pass into Artis Gilmore of the disappointing Chicago Bulls, but Gilmore is having a better year this year than last.
I think he's worried that Kareem might have been there, so he wanted to hurry up and get the shot off.
Just picking the ball out of the air on that Gus Williams shot, and Williams is laughing as he comes up court. And at the other end, Buck Williams gives the New Jersey fans present a thrill. He has 4 points, the rookie from Maryland, and a fine youngster, third leading rebounder in the league, and a foul the other way. Superb passing here.
That's right down to the basket. Oh, yeah. He says, you gonna let me stand here?
Moncrief to Gilmore. And now Magic Johnson is shooting. Moncrief committed the foul with 1:06 to go in the third. And the East is up by 3 now, 90-87.
Come on, AD.
Second All-Star appearance for Magic Johnson. Had to miss last year because of the injury. And Adrian Dantley is coming in now from Utah, third straight All-Star. Averaged 30 last year to lead them. This is the second free throw. Buck Williams the rebound. Here's Michael Ray Richardson. He's had a good quarter.
Because he made some good plays, some good defensive plays, and he shot the ball real well.
Moncrief had a screen from Jones. Now he has Gilmore to help. Threw that up high. Malone. Magic. 48 seconds remaining in the third. Buck Williams. He's going to have Moncrief and Bobby Jones down court. And Michael Ray Richardson, double team, finds the open man. Buck Williams. And they'll call that as an offensive foul on Buck.
Well, he got a pretty good head of steam up, and he said, well, instead of making a left turn, I think I just go over the top.
That's the defensive backfield they had in position there. Led by Kareem. 26 seconds now in the third. Trying to get on the board is Kareem. And Moncrief the rebound. That's the time remaining in the third period. And the East leading by 3, trying to make it 4 out of 5. And it's still East ball.
That pass, if he'd have made a loft pass a little higher, been a better pass. But
Tiny Archibald, the MVP last year, replaces Michael Ray Richardson, who's had a good contribution this time. Tiny has 2 points. That's not how you measure what his performance is like. Out to Moncrief with 15 seconds. Archibald. Steal, Gus Williams. Now that's embarrassing right in front of everyone. Gus Williams, a great defensive play, took it away from Tiny. Moncrief gets by, and if it goes, it counts. That's the end of the third period. With the score, the East 90, the West 89, and we'll be back with the start of the fourth period after this word from your local station.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
As you look at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, our score 90-89. The East leads the West. Start of the fourth period. Dick Stockton along with Bill Russell. Be sure and stay tuned for the MVP award at the conclusion of the game. Artis Gilmore goes out and Robert Parrish comes in. And so now we start the fourth period. We talked about these coaches obviously wanting to win the game. And what might we expect in there?
well, they'll just play it pretty straight for the next 3 or 4 minutes.
Malone.
But then, when the last 8 minutes, they're going to have the guys that they think work the best today. You know, the guys that the combination works the best, or when they got a lead, or when they caught up. And this is probably what you see going down the last quarter. They're going to have a team that can play a wide open game, that know how to run plays for them, and good rebounders and good defensive players. The players that they think can play the best combination of offense and defense.
Moses Malone got a bucket and a good block at one end, and Buck Williams gets fouled by Malone at the other end following that exchange as the West leads 91-90. Very active.
Here comes the last play. Tanner Archibald pass right there. And that was an odd foul because the defense man was just standing there.
That means it can't be explained.
No, and he should have moved out of the way.
Buck Williams has one to go. I know when you say an odd player, an odd foul, I know not to ask you.
That's right, because that means that he's just standing around. Well, he was out of position in that he didn't see the ball.
West leading by 1. The East turned the ball over 10 times in that third period and still maintained a lead, although right now the West has it in the opening minute of this fourth period. Dantley double team Bobby Jones. They get the ball away to Moncrief. Back on defense is the West. Tiny Archibald takes it to the hoop, and Archibald with 4 points. East regains the lead. Gus Williams against Bobby Jones, lost it out of bounds. So in there now, as you look at Gus Williams coming up on defense, Tiny Archibald, number 7, Moncrief 4 the guards. Tiny is penetrating here, and Robert Parrish is fouled by Magic Johnson going up. So
his fourth foul.
Right. 4 fouls on Magic. Lonnie Shelton and Kareem have 3. Gilmore has 4 for the East, and a bunch of players have 3 for the Eastern team as well. Robert Parrish in his 6th year. First 4 years with Golden State. Second All-Star appearance. So the East by 2 points. Gus Williams.
Now you wonder when you get down to the last few minutes of a close ball game with these teams, how many 3-point shooters you think you got out here?
Tiny penetrates in his foul. George Gervin will come in for the West, and Kelly Tripucka makes his reappearance for the East team as the foul is on Magic Johnson, who sits down with 5 personal fouls.
And that means that the coach won't be able to use him like he'd like to. So now you're going to see what kind of strategy he'll use, who he'll use there, and how.
Biggest lead for both teams, 9 points. In various junctures of the game, there have been 11 ties. The East is up 95-93. Minute and a half gone by here in the fourth period. Archibald on Gus Williams. Looking for Kareem, the only player who hasn't scored in this game, but a nifty pass that Dantley couldn't convert. Running Kelly Tripucka. Bounce pass, low to Parrish, but he made a good play on a low pass and stuffed it through.
He had good hands for a big man. Usually if you hit a big man around the knees, you can forget that.
Kick it into the 10th row or something.
Well, first of all, they're not good kickers either.
4-point lead East. Williams had a screen from Gervin. Drives on Tripucka and hits. So Gus Williams.
Tripucka and a lot of other guys. 18
points for Gus Williams. And Tripucka comes back and says, I can do it too. Kelly Tripucka with 6 in the ball game.
The blue-collar basket.
In the Motor City. It brought out the crowds. The attendance is up in the league about 10%, and in Detroit 108% as Buck Williams overplayed. Made a nice defensive play, but Dantley.
And an outstanding pass by Kareem on that last play. Here comes Tiny Archibald with the ball. He gives it to Terry, and he comes right down before the big guys have a chance to react. They were getting back on defense, and he went right up the alley before and that's his foot there. So he said, see, we're number 1.
He went right past Malone and Kareem to get the puck. Not many people, I think Kelly Tripucka wants to be a broadcaster because every time we've been out there, he's grabbed the mic and started talking into it. Parrish, 9:20 to go. It drops for Robert Parrish. Hit the back of the rim and then went through, and so the East is up by 4.
And he says, who's guarding me?
Parrish has 17 points. He's the leading scorer for the East. Williams with 18. Tops the West. Magic has 16, but also is on the bench with 5 personal fouls. Moses Malone. Fall away. Kareem can't tip it in.
And Parrish comes out with the rebound.
Kareem
and he's running the break.
Kareem is still blanked, and Bobby Jones inside, goaltending charge against Moses Malone. So Bobby Jones gets the point as Larry Bird leads the cheers with Artis Gilmore on the bench. Don't forget, next Saturday, you'll see Speed and Grace on ice on a CBS Sports special. Same-day coverage of the 1982 European Figure Skating Championships from Lyon, France, and from the Netherlands, the World Sprint Speed Skating Championships. Don't miss it, as you'll see some of the world's finest athletes compete for European and world titles Saturday, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock Central and Pacific on a CBS Sports special. Well, right now, Bill and I are leaning toward the man you just saw, 0-0 Robert Parrish for MVP, but we got a way to go. 8:24 to go. That didn't hurt his chances either.
That was a good pass, too, Bobby Jones made.
The East Centers have outscored the West Centers 34-16. So that's been a big key to this ball game, and now 105-97 lead. And Sikpa comes in, rejected by Parrish to Tiny Archibald, and Buck Williams ahead of the crowd. So 2 good plays, the basket and the defensive play by Robert Parrish. Last year a Celtic was MVP. That man, Tiny Archibald, who makes a nifty feed to Buck Williams. Durbin the rebound. 8-point lead now. The East's biggest lead was 9. The West trying to narrow it here. Dantley, Sikma, Durbin trying to find some room inside. They got the top 2 scorers in the league in the West lineup. Jack Sikma hits the shot outside.
That's a tough move to guard, too. Where he shoots that ball from and the motion he gives you makes a tough shot to defend.
Bobby Jones.
In fact, you'd have to play defense left-handed to guard him well.
Which you did. On occasion. Adrian
The only thing I'm going to defend today is this chair that I got. I'm keeping this one.
Adrian Daly. Every time I come to the game, the officials come over and they say, Bill, good thing you don't play. I don't think you can keep up with the pace today. What do you think of that?
No, I couldn't do it today. A man my age got nothing to think about that.
Kareem gets on the board. All right. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 1 for 10. That's the points. And now the West comes back. Gus Williams and Durbin against Tiny Archibald and Buck Williams. And Gus pulls up with it and hits. And the West coming closer now. They're 2, 105, 103. And Bill Fitch, as you look at some of the audience, and 2 daughters and son of Neil Pilson, CBS Sports president, looking on. It's 105, 103 as we have a timeout. We're back here at the Byrne Meadowlands Arena. Robert Parrish, the hot shooters, in 14 minutes, 19.6 rebounds, has hit his last 6. Gus Williams has 20 points, has hit his last 4. You're looking at the 2 hot scorers in this game as Buck Williams picks up the loose ball. Tripucka, Larry Bird, good screen by Tripucka. Bird hits the jump shot. Tripucka helped make that go, and once again a 4-point East lead. Gus Williams, 22 points, trying to bring the West back now with 6:20.
As I said earlier in the game, that's the kind of things that I expected earlier from Gus. Because in a game like this, where you don't have to set picks for him or anything, he's devastating.
That was a non-shooting foul. In fact, it was on Gus Williams, his first personal foul. Sikma knocks the ball away, gets it away from Buck Williams. Dantley behind to Gus. Gus pulls up. Picked off by Buck Williams. Shows you how high he can go. Yes, he got very serious. I don't think he liked the ball being stripped away by Sikma at the other end. Tiny Archibald, Robert Parrish, baseline. Sikma. So Sikma and Gus Williams, the Seattle connection now. Passes to Adrian Dantley. In his 3rd All-Star start, and we have our 12th tie of the game at 107 with 5 minutes and 35 seconds to play.
And now the coaches start really trying to maneuver to get the lineups they want in here.
Kareem in there, Bill Fitch. He knows he has 3 of his Celtics in there. Buck Williams shot rejected by Kareem. Gus Williams 2-on-1. Sikma, the trailer. And the West suddenly takes the lead to Pat Riley's delight.
And Gus is lighting them up, as we say.
Sikma And Gus Williams sparking here. Winding down to 5 minutes remaining. Coming off the screen, Larry Bird slapped away, and you can hear it 10 rows up. Adrian Dantley and Sigma complaining about the shot. This is the Doc's son, Julius Erving's son. And here's the Doc coming in, and the crowd could sense something when a guy of Julius Erving's performance comes in, and a lot of the cheers for Buck Williams, who leads with 10 rebounds and 4 points in the game, also a rookie in this contest. The West in the penalty, Doc is in the game, and Larry Bird will go to the line. So Julius Erving, the league's most valuable player, and Bird on the line shooting. Bird has now 10 points in the game. Norm Nixon comes in, so now we see the Laker influence. Lonnie Shelton in, so we now have 2 Seattle Sonics in Shelton and Sigma.
Is it all right for me to second guess?
Yes, go ahead.
I think that the East will have some problems with Gus and Norm Nixon, the guard.
Okay, and Gus is out of the game. Yes. Nixon came in.
Instead of splitting them up, they create defensive problems for the East that you couldn't believe.
Sigma driving, blocked by Bird. Sigma again. Good relentless play. Second effort by Jack Sigma, and the West leads 111-109. Just a little while ago, the East had an 8-point lead. That's how quick the complexion can change here. Larry Bird can figure in this game. Fires this one up, ends up on his back, and Bird now 13 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. Having a whale of a ball game. And we have our 14th tie at 111 apiece with 4:24, and the East with the ball. Pat Riley, All-American at the University of Kentucky and head coach of the Lakers. They're 24-8 since Riley took over.
And they have Bird playing guard. He a Tripucka.
Open man, Archibald. Doc goes in the crowd. Sigma, good defense. Julius Erving's son watching his dad perform here in a galaxy of stars with 4:06 remaining in the 4th period. Bird. Larry Bird, 15 points.
Take that.
When we say down the stretch, under the pressure, when you want the ball, Larry Bird wants the ball. He's showing that right here. He has 9 points here in the 4th period, and we have a foul against the East. It's on Archibald, his 3rd. 2 fouls. The West is in the penalty, and for the East, their 4th team foul. And Magic Johnson comes in. So now Magic Johnson replaces Dantley, and now we have Nixon and Magic in there.
Yeah, a couple guards that worked together a couple of games.
And Sigma and Shelton, front-court men who have worked together with Seattle.
Yes, and with you can get the two-man games split up in case you have to run something.
And 3 Celtics are in there.
A gentleman wouldn't have noticed.
Bill Fitch and Pat Riley going for broke here, and they're going with the people they know. So Archibald, Bird, and Parrish from the Celtics, along with Irving and Tripucka. Gervin trying to give the East or tie it up, I should say, for the West does so with 3:46 to go. 15 deadlocks in the game. Biggest margin for both sides, 9 points. Tiny across the line, guarded by Nixon. 3:40 to play, 4th period. 32nd All-Star game. Kelly Tripucka short, and Dr. J is fouled going up by George Gervin. Gervin was right there on the ball, hit his arm, and Bill Fitch will go to his bench. He wants Moncrief and Michael Ray Richardson coming in now. Moncrief from Milwaukee comes in, and Michael Ray, Archibald, and Tripucka come out.
That's a pretty tough pair of guards there.
Firepower personified. Julius with 2.
Good defense, too, those 2 guards. And going down the stretch, that becomes more and more important.
Along with Julius's 16 points, he has 8 rebounds and 2 blocked shots. 3.5 minutes to play, 4th period. A 1-point lead for the East All-Stars, trying to make it 4 out of 5 and stretch their advantage to 21-11. facing the hoop, Sigma, short, and Bird the rebound. Parrish racing down to the other end. They want the ball to Moncrief. Magic on him. Moncrief for the Bucks. Michael Ray Richardson got through and a pass to Parrish.
Super play, super play. Going down the middle, move without the ball.
3-point lead for the East with under 3 minutes to go. Lonnie Shelton with all the bulk in the world going in, and a foul is committed. Lonnie Shelton, who missed 65 games with wrist surgery last year, coming back strong this time. Former member of the New York Knicks and was a member of the Seattle World Championship Club. Timeout, 2:52 remaining in the fourth, and the East leading 116 to 113.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Reed struggles for the ball. It's loose. He fights for it. He dives for it. Grabs it on the floor. In the corner to Billy Cunningham. Underneath to Havlicek. He lays it up and in.
John Havlicek, teammate of Bill Russell's and Willis Reed, contemporary.
Yeah, guys to beat up on me all the time.
Only in your later years, that guy.
You know, when he first came in the league, he says, you know, Mr. Russell, that's what he said. When I grew up, you were my hero.
You got to watch out
And
when they
in
say
the rest of the next, about third quarter, I said, is this the way you treat your hero?
Lonnie Shelton brings the West to within 2. There have been just 2 overtime games in All-Star history. 1954 and 2 years ago, 1980. Larry Bird between 2 people with Gilmore looking on now with 17 points in the game and a 4-point East lead with 2.5 minutes to play in this 32nd All-Star game for more than 20,000 at Byrne Meadowlands Arena. Durbin, the Iceman, comes right back. Boy, we got some sharp shooters looking at this one.
He was cool on that one.
On the bench. Bird is 4 for 4 in this fourth quarter. Inside to Doc. Good defense inside, but Moncrief fighting. Moncrief can go high, but against Sigma and Lonnie Shelton, it's a different story. And now we wind down to the 2-minute mark in this fourth period, and the East leading by 2. West trying to tie it. Durbin. Bird the rebound. Loop it out to Michael Ray Richardson.
Great outlet pass. That's where you're going to break. Get that outlet pass.
Larry Bird, the trailer. Moncrief. Michael Ray tips it, but Sigma. Boy, is he tough underneath. There's Norm Nixon feeding Magic, feeding Durbin. We don't have a tie. The ball is still loose and a foul is called. A loose ball foul against Lonnie Shelton of the West with 1:34 remaining. Lonnie Shelton commits the foul. 4th personal foul. Bill Fitch started his coaching career where he played at Coe College in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Pat Riley from Schenectady, New York, played at college ball at Kentucky. And Jack Sigma, who has been a horse here in the second half, watches Bird hit the first. Trying to make it a 4-point lead, 1:34 remaining. Bird had only 7 points at the half. 4-point lead. .120 remaining. Jack Sigma facing the hoop, defended by Parrish. Norm Nixon shooting over Larry Bird, hits. 120 to 118. Watching the clock now, 4th period. Michael Ray Richardson to Larry Bird. Shelton overplaying him. So is Nixon with the big guy Parrish. Michael Ray goes up and is taken down by Magic, a 2-on-1. Bird is back. Nixon doesn't tie it up. And Shelton fights for the loose ball. Good hustle by Lonnie Shelton with 50 seconds to go.
This is getting to be quite a ball game. Some good defensive plays being made, and this is what will decide the game.
Jack Sigma, short. Bird has the ball with 39 to play. And Moncrief slows it up to use the clock. 120 to 118. The East leading the West, and Bill Fitch wants a timeout with that much time remaining. And they love it here at the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Wilkins brings the ball up, sliding toward the left. Fakes left, goes right. Pass JoJo White. Pass Dave DeBuscher. Lays the ball up and in.
On the board, if we can get the ball back, it's all over, right? Then we kill it. So you got a one-on-one. Once the cross-court pass here, you guys keep it alive because you can out.
Bill Fitch in the East huddle. Parrish with 21, Bird with 19. The top scorers. Julius Erving has 16. Gus Williams, 22, leads the West. Magic Johnson has 16, and he's been playing with 5 personal fouls. Bill Burtka on the left and Pat Riley. 30 seconds remaining here. Want to thank Marty Aronoff for his usual fine job as our statistician. 120 to 118. The East leading the West. 30 seconds to play. Tony Archibald comes in the ball game. They have 15 seconds on the shot clock. Going to use most of it. They worked on these out-of-bounds plays yesterday. Bill Fitch says that's the thing you can work on in these all-star games. Julius Erving, one-on-one. And he's down, and an offensive foul called. Julius is called for the offensive foul.
Let's see how that came about. He beat Gervin for their signal establishing. That was not a good call, because he had not established position by the time Erving left his feet. See, once you leave your feet, you can't change direction. And if a guy moves in, then you can't be an offensive
I got to
foul.
tell you, Bill, I don't recall many times in that situation when the doc has been called for charges.
Well, that was a close play. But if you look at it, when we look at the replay, you can see that he had left his feet. When he left his feet, signal was still moving.
That automatically takes away the position aspect.
Right, see, because if signal was stationary and he left his feet, he wouldn't have. He wouldn't have went right at him. And so, because you can't change your direction in the air. Even the doc can't do that.
Pat Riley outlining what he wants the team to do here.
You know what he's saying to him?
Score.
Right. He says, when you do this, and if everything breaks down and doesn't work, somebody take a shot and make it. Actually, what they want to do is take a shot with at least 8 seconds to go. For 2 reasons. One, you got a chance for offensive rebound, and second, if the other team comes to the ball, you got a chance to maybe make a steal.
17 seconds to go, and Larry Bird has been named the most valuable player of the All-Star game. 19 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block shot. Need we say more? And he was at his best when it counted at the end, like he has been in the Celtic championship year. Larry Bird, the MVP. But right now, with 17 seconds to go, the game has not been decided, with the East leading by 2. Gervin will inbound. He's got Magic Johnson, Gus Williams into the ball game, Kareem, and Jack Sikma. 17 seconds. Michael Ray Richardson gambles for the steal. Kareem to Gervin. 10 seconds to go. They're playing tight defense, the East is. A three-point shot, no good, and the ball is knocked out of bounds, and they call it West ball with 5 seconds to play. And now they want another timeout. The West wants another time as
Gus said, I should have made that one. He says, again, maybe change the shot a little bit on a three-pointer.
Good strategy, three-point shot.
He's going for the win.
I guess so.
Which is surprising.
So the West has just a 20-second timeout remaining, and the East has 2 full timeouts remaining, with 5 seconds to go as you look at Jack Sikma and Gus Williams, 2 of the stalwarts of the Seattle Sonics. Don't forget, next Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern, it'll be the Los Angeles Lakers with Kareem, Magic, Dixon, Jamal, and that great group against the Boston Celtics. And that'll be the first of 2 of the back-to-back home-and-home games we've got for you, and what a treat that'll be. The Lakers and the Celtics, the teams with the best records in the NBA, and I'm getting revved up for that one already, Bill.
Do you think the Celtics have seen Kurt Rambis yet?
No, and that's going to be something for them, huh?
That'll shock
the Boston fans.
That'll shock
who sell out every game at Boston Garden. We'll see Controlled Furies on doing his thing. Kurt Rambis, the power forward, did quite a job against Detroit. A week ago Friday.
volleyball on the board. Play
Danny
volleyball on
Ainge,
the board.
we haven't seen him, of course. It'll be our first game involving the Boston Celtics, being brought along slowly by Bill Fitch. And that's been the Celtic tradition, bring along the young ones slow fashion.
Head down, go to
What
it.
you don't want to do if you can avoid it, take a young player, if you can avoid it, and put the pressure of having to win on him. Now, this happens to guys when they go to teams like the #1 draft pick. It happens a lot. And a kid like Isaiah Thomas, which is difficult, but he's up to it. But if you can, no matter how good a player is, you try to keep that pressure to him if you can avoid it.
There's Larry Bird, our MVP. Adrian Dantley has come in and will trigger the ball in. He has Magic Johnson, 5 seconds to go. They're trying to tie it up. And the ball's off the rim, no good. Parrish the rebound, and that's the ball game. The Eastern All-Stars have held on to win. And if you don't think they want to win these games, just look at the reaction to these players. They went down to the wire with it, and Magic Johnson's layup off the rim. The rebound by Parrish. The final score, East 120, the West 118. We'll be talking with the MVP shortly. Larry, let's ask you a couple of things here, because the entire arena and the people around the country, you know, we were talking, Bill Russell and myself, about when it comes down to the end, people like Larry Bird want the ball and make things happen. And I know that you played well throughout the whole game, but you seem to make it happen at the end. You're on the court with some great people. Tell me your thoughts about the ball game.
Well, it makes it a lot easier when you're playing with two guys that you play with all year. Plus, you got the coach sitting on the bench that coach you throughout the year. Coach Fitch started calling my play a little bit, and I got hot, and I just hit a couple shots.
What did Bill say about winning this game? I mean, this is his first All-Star coaching performance with so many great people. What did he say as far as the approach of this one?
Well, he wanted us to have fun, but also there's money involved, and anytime there's money involved, you're going to put out a little bit harder. So we wanted to keep the string going, keep it alive, and go out and do our best.
All right. Congratulations, Larry. Tremendous job, tremendous game.
Thank you, sir.
So this is Dick Stockton for Bill Russell, saying goodbye from the Byrne Meadowland Arena. The final score, the East 120, the West 118.